What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller. Over here, the producer / seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hello, Greg.
How are you?
I'm well.
We are in harmony, you and I, today.
Yes, we are.
We've been singing goofy songs about pooping and things.
I think we're through the planning phase for the most part, the bulk of E3. Now we're getting excited because we're into the fun part where we actually just get to do it. Is that how you feel?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This episode was recorded long before E3. We were going to play it off, sir. We were going to act like we had come in. I was going to be like, man, I can't believe we got home so fast from E3 and recorded this show and had it up on patreon.com/kindafunny.
Oh, well, then just Kevin, at 1:58:34, bleep out everything I just did.
He said we were near too, and then it's like 1:58, whatever. Kevin out there is packing us up for.
Man, I'll tell you right now, E3 sure was fun.
Nailed it. Fucking killed it.
Thank you.
No, ladies and gentlemen, it's us. Kind of funny. Getting ready to go to E3, so we're all fucking crazy.
Yeah,
we had a pizza party today to raise morale, and Nick and I's morale is through the roof. Nick didn't even eat the pizza.
Yeah, the pizza party was something special. I had fun.
Good.
It was
That's
good.
the pure one, Tim Gettys.
I had 3 slices of pizza.
Damn. That's all? I thought you took 3 at the beginning. You never went back
I never
for
went back.
seconds.
Never went
Interesting.
back.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was working on shit. But
We've all been working on shits, but when it happens, when the pizza party pops off, you got to get on it. You can't look a pizza party horse in the mouth.
I'm happy we had a pizza party because I was promised a pizza party at IGN, never got it.
By the way, Greg just said you can't look a pizza party horse in the mouse. So there's a new saying there. You can't look a pizza party horse in the mouse.
Earlier today, you fucked up on Colin Moriarty Live, and I didn't call you.
No, I don't fuck up.
It was in the chat. I'm trying to remember what it was.
No, you'll never remember. You'll have to go watch the entire show to figure
Even
out.
then, I'd have to. It was the chat that called it.
Oh, I remember what it was. It was the 55-minute tirade you guys went on about backyard barbecuing. And then you drew a graph that was literally, I think, years from now, people will look at and go, oh, that explains everything.
That was the first time we knew. The
They
Pride of
were
Long Island.
psychotic.
Colin Moriarty was out of control.
Good to be here with you today.
Good to
They
have
were
you here
geniuses
as well.
But they were twisted geniuses.
Twisted fucks.
I was just examining the barbecue situation. That's all.
I do
It's a
feel like
real
we are
situation.
losing our grip on reality quicker.
Oh, definitely. I haven't even left the house in 3 days. I was just telling
That's
you
when
guys.
I'll probably do it.
I haven't left the house at all since Sunday.
You don't need to.
It's Wednesday.
You got drones. We'll drone airdrop you shit.
What?
Went to the grocery store. Got everything I needed. Got the internet.
You're done.
Well,
You're
we're
set.
good.
We're set.
You got a toilet. You got 55 to 65 half-drunk bottles of Arrowhead water. You're good to go.
Oh, I'm fantastic. I'm
This
feeling
is
good.
not going to go bad.
No, definitely not.
Water. How
Definitely
many
not.
times have you refilled that particular bottle? Do you know?
Like 4 times probably. Okay. It's looking like
Nailed
about
it. It
4.
was Celtic. It said Celtic, like a Celtic warrior, and you kept saying Celtic, idiot.
We say Celtic in the United States.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. What is the Boston basketball team called, Greg? I'm just curious.
The
what they're
Celtics.
They're the Celtics.
called. Okay, good. Okay, I was just curious. Just curious about
all I know
about
is
the
that
only usage of a word in American English is the basketball team that we've been calling the Celtics for like 120 years.
Amy Gilroy fell off her pot of gold over in Ireland and couldn't believe her fucking ears.
Was she a leprechaun?
I don't know
Yeah,
what
that's
I
the
don't know
joke,
what
'cause
to
she's
I don't
over
know
in
what to
Ireland.
tell you about
I'm just
that.
letting you know, you screwed up.
I'm
today,
half
too.
Irish. I didn't screw anything
Boy.
up. We don't. This is the thing that bothers me is we do
Boy.
not say words the way that they're said in their native languages. English is an amalgamation of a lot of different words. A lot of them come from. Many of them come from Latin. You don't see us speaking fucking Latin over here. We Americanize your words.
Yeah, we slaughter it.
I don't roll my R's.
Yeah, I don't say churro.
Say Ruffles.
Ruffles.
Yeah, you don't. You're right. Good call.
You know, it's the niche and niche is the great word.
Yeah, that
it
is
is
the one.
it is niche.
It's
the
niche,
word is
Colin.
niche.
Niche.
There's no accent aigu over it.
That's
So
a
it can't-
shay. It's shay.
Nichois, if we're talking about the salad.
So in French it would be niche.
Or nicoise.
You know,
Niche.
but in English, in American English, it's niche.
It's true.
We
If
don't
you
just
didn't know,
No, I'm not
this
done.
is
I'm
the
not
Game
done.
Over Greggy show.
No, you can keep going.
Oh,
Greg.
thank
Keep
you.
going.
Now rub a little bit. There it is. Each and every week, 4. Oh, yeah, right there. Each and every week, 4. Sometimes
pee-pee getting
5.
hard?
Best friends gather on this table. Not yet.
Is your pish getting hard?
No, my pishes are getting hard.
What do you guys
have
call
magic
it?
fingers.
What's the new
Pish.
word? The
Pish-a-leak.
No, pish-a-leak. Yeah.
Pichalik.
Yeah, I like that.
Why?
Yeah,
What's
I
the
like
leak
that a
added
lot.
into it?
My grandmother would just randomly throw in extra vowels at the end of everything.
Oh, she sounds like
It's
me.
like how everyone would say, "Oh, you want some." That's a good example. Is my Italian family, being like, "Oh, you got, we have some, spaghetti, we got, pasta, so prosciutto." I'm like, it's prosciutto. And they're like, oh, it's and they're like, oh, you want some mozzarella? I'm like, it's mozzarella.
That's
it's
just your mom. Isn't that your mom? You always make fun of your mom.
Yeah, but my whole Italian side of my family does that. It's a good example. It's like we've been here since 1920.
Yeah. Yeah. You can
We
call
don't
it pee-pee.
say that anymore.
Yeah.
Stop asking me if my pish is clean. I'm 30 years old.
Yeah. My mom says she has a few of those parlance sayings left. She says agita all the time.
Oh, agita is a great word. I use that word a lot.
Which
too.
one's that mean?
It just
It's
means
stomach indigestion.
Stomach indigestion.
Ah, okay.
She's like, but she uses it for just a total different. Like she'll use it for just a myriad of reasons. Like you'll piss her off. She'll be like,
"Are you giving me ajita?"
She'll be like, you give me the ajita, or you're upsetting my ajita, or my ajita doesn't like that, or hey, you and my ajita should go fuck off.
Whoa.
I made that last
seems
one
drastic.
up, but I wouldn't put that past my mom. She's very flowery when she gets angry.
Coolie.
With her language. The coolie. Nikki. That was my grandmother would always say, Nikki, did you wash your coolie? Did you watch all the kiki out of your coolie? And I'm like, grandmother, I'm 17 years old. Yes. I haven't. If I haven't figured out how to wash my ass at this point, it's never going to happen. You don't have to worry
Kiki
about
out
it.
of the coolie.
The
Good
kiki.
lord.
You poop out of your butt.
Yep.
Each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny each and every Friday to get the show a whole week early. If you don't have any money to give us, no big deal. Go to youtube.com/kindafunny. Day by day, topic by topic. It's broken out for your amusement for nothing. Then on Friday, we put the whole show up for free as a video and an MP3.
Thrizzle.
Tim,
Shalik.
you begin.
Oh, I begin.
You like that? I figured it to you. We
Yeah, I
didn't
wasn't
go over
expecting
an order.
that.
I want to toss it right to
I
you.
didn't know. Didn't
Get
know at
going.
all.
Do your thing.
All right. My topic today is going to be, what is your favorite Disney movie? Now, the reason this comes up is I saw this really, really cool picture on the internet. It's this thing you might have heard of. There's, remember the Disney movies of the 90s when they released the VHSs and they came in those big ass...
Yeah, the huge,
puffy
huge,
things.
The big
yeah.
puffy VHS cases. It was like
fucking
only Disney did it, but then
Hated
sometimes
those
like...
things. I hated those things with a passion.
They threw off your whole.
They
like,
threw off the
feng
aesthetic
shui.
of my VHS tape collection.
And as you guys all know, I hate that. Like, I want my collection to be a damn collection. But what I did like is that they standardized it. So at least all your animated films, your collection of those would be
like
that.
you couldn't do it alphabetically. You had to do it by genre, and so you'd have like the Star Wars movies, and then the Disney animated films that were like this big, and then back to the regular size VHSs. It was rubbish.
Yeah, but they deserve to get
It's a lot
their
of
own.
marketing.
I had
Oh.
Ghostbusters 1 and 2 on VHS in those same puffy cases.
Well, yeah, so I feel like they revolutionized, and then a bunch of other motherfuckers started copying
That's when you
them.
knew you had like a film.
Yeah.
You didn't have a movie you were picking up from Blockbuster. You had a fucking piece of art right there.
Yeah,
That needed to
exactly.
be protected.
And then there was like Balto and all those like knockoff ass animated films.
Where do you stand on? Because I had a couple because we forgot to take them back of the ones that open up like this. Not the puffy cases, but the actual like VHS rental cases that you like.
Oh, yeah.
and open them up. I loved those. I thought
Like a
that's how
Blockbuster case.
Yeah, but Blockbuster would eventually just print it out like the name of the movie on it, and when they give it to you. Back in the day, I used to go to Video Whiz, and they would actually have the cover on it, which would be cool. So you'd get it, and it would be by the 15th
yeah.
or 16th time you got it, or like someone rented it, it was like chewed up and looked like someone's dog had eaten it.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. And then they figured out that they could just like
Remember
sell.
video stores? How weird was that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah, you just don't think about it anymore.
I know.
I would spend so much time just going to Blockbuster or I forget what the other one was called near my house, but like we would
Video
just,
Villa. That was
it wasn't
one.
video. There
That
was a
the local
Hollywood. There
one
was a
for us.
Hollywood video.
Hollywood
I never
Video.
fucked with Hollywood video.
By the time they came around, I was like, I'm Blockbuster, ride,
Ride
or
or
die.
die.
I'm
So-
not fucking around here.
Yeah. But there was, the little like mom and pop ones.
Yeah.
Like there was a couple of those, and I liked those a lot. And those are the ones that had the porn in the back. And
Yeah,
so
oh,
like
yeah.
being a little kid, you're
Behind
always
the
like,
beads
I
and
see some
stuff.
titties.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you casually walk by like you're like,
Like
pretending
4
like you're
fucking times.
you're a 7-year-old pretending like you're interested in French New Wave cinema because it was
Yeah.
always that, and then right behind the doors was the porn. You're like, oh, Godard, I should check this out.
You were jacking off in the back of Video Villa?
Why not? Why not?
That'd be hilarious.
Do what you got to do.
What the fuck, dude?
Anyways, we're way off topic.
Okay, going back to the topic. So I saw an image on the internet of someone made a Frozen VHS in that style.
That's
And
cool.
I was like, that's fucking cool. And it's like something that I never would have thought about just because like those things have been out of my mind for
love that.
surprisingly long for me being me. So that made me start thinking about the collection. I started talking to a couple of my friends just about what their thoughts are on different Disney movies because depending on when you were born, like you stopped watching them at different times, So I feel like I have fonder memories of, say, Hercules or Pocahontas and like Tarzan era than you guys would.
One of those movies was good.
Okay. Pocahontas?
Pocahontas, that was it,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Well, see, Pocahontas is the one that we decided is kind of the teetering point of it is the end of the Golden Age.
It is.
But it doesn't necessarily qualify as Golden Age.
No, definitely doesn't.
No, I would say it does.
Golden Age ended, I think, with Lion King.
No, I mean Pocahontas was the. Oh wait,
I'm breaking out a list of Disney
We
movies.
did one movie too many. Like that was because I mean Pocahontas was huge, man. It's like Mel Gibson. Didn't he do the voice of the main
John
character?
Smith.
John Smith. And then who was who actually played Pocahontas? Do we know?
No idea.
Anyway, I just remember that movie being huge and then seeing it and going, huh. Like it just was missing the Like The Lion King still, you watch that to this day, is a piece of art. It is so beautifully done. And then you go back and watch Pocahontas. And then the other day, I literally, I think it was like 6 months ago, I watched Hercules because it's on Netflix. And I was like, oh, I've never seen this. And then I watched the first 10 minutes and I'm like, oh no, I have seen this. I couldn't get through the first 10 minutes and I still can't get through it. I had to put it down. I was like, I can't stand this movie.
Yeah, Hercules is weird. I remember seeing that in
I
the
love
theater.
it, but it's different. But so the Golden Age, we got Little Mermaid, Aladdin.
The Lion King.
No, wait. Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and then Lion King.
Was Little Mermaid before Beauty and the Beast?
Yes.
It was.
Little Mermaid was 89.
Yep.
And
November
then-
17th, 1989.
Yeah. So then those four are like the undeniable Golden Age.
Right.
Then you get into...
There's some in there too. Rescuers isn't there? That would be in the Golden Age.
According to
You
this,
think
yeah.
that counts as Golden Age?
Yeah, I love Rescuers.
Well, I mean, if we're going back, so starting with Lion King and then going backwards in time, they have it as Lion King, Nightmare Before Christmas, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, The Rescuers Down Under, DuckTales the movie, The Little Mermaid, Oliver and Company, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Great Mouse Detective, The Black Cauldron, The Fox and the Hound, The Rescuers, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
And now we're getting into it.
Now we're in the 70s.
Now we're getting into the good stuff.
The good stuff. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. Then obviously there's the original shit back in the day. We got the Snow White, Cinderellas, Sleeping
I was never
Beauties,
into
and all
those.
that.
The only one that really stands out for me was the when they did Robin Hood. And I remember watching Robin Hood I was in Italy, and it was one of those trips where I was too young to really be going around Italy for like 3 weeks with my parents and my brother. So I was so fucking bored. And I had zero interest in anything other than watching movies and eating at the time. So I had half that covered in Italy because the food's amazing. But I remember going over to one of our cousins' houses in Rome and sitting down and having them go, hey, we've got this. And it was the American version of Robin Hood and did the Disney movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, pop that in right now. And I watched it like 3 times.
Well, that's what I was gonna say was, yeah, the music's awesome. And Robin Hood's my favorite Disney movie.
Really?
Like, definitively. Yeah.
Oh, it's
my
great.
top 3 is Robin Hood, Peter Pan, and Fox and the Hound in that order. So Robin Hood's early 50s, or Peter Pan's early 50s, Robin Hood's 70s, Fox and the Hound's early 80s, and I think those capture the essence of.
What era would that be called then? If
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, that is the golden era. Like, I feel like
most people
the
would-
Little Mermaid and Rescuers brought it back for me when I was a young kid.
never saw Rescuers.
89 and like
Rescuers is
91.
fucking awesome. But it's
Well,
not
the original
I don't think it
Rescuers
counts
is
as
in the early
Golden
80s.
Era. Like Golden Era, I think really is just those 4 movies.
Depends on your age, though, because like, you know, an animation nerd like my brother loves those movies, but is much more impressed with I think, and the generally older probably animators and stuff would be much more impressed with something like Fox and the Hound or something like that. So I think it is something that is up to your interpretation. I feel like that was when Little Mermaid specifically was when Disney movies became very, very, very big, very, very big. And that was the first one I remember seeing in the theater too. It came out in '89. I was like 5 or 6. And I loved The Little Mermaid. I remember getting the tape that you're talking about. I remember that very well. And I liked Lion King. I wasn't a huge fan of Aladdin. And
Really?
then,
So Aladdin's my favorite.
yeah.
I love that movie.
It's a good
so
movie,
much.
but I was okay. I was like, it's fine.
I
was
have
awesome.
I have no modern love for the Disney movies. I don't look back and think of them nostalgically or anything like that. But I think Aladdin is the one I remember I got and watched a lot. Watched it over and over again. And then right behind that was Little Mermaid. And then the rest I didn't give a fuck about.
Now,
Not even Lion King?
Nope. Lion King
Lion
especially
King's
did
really
not
good.
work for me.
No way.
I was just too old for it. I had grown up.
Oh, man.
I had seen Superman comics. I had things to do. Not
That's
see
crazy.
these fucking kittens rolling around, spelling out sex in
You
the
wanted
dust.
to be
awesome.
more in reality, like rooted in
I
reality.
wanted to see some people who could fly and shoot
Yeah.
beams from their eyes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
the crazy
I
thing to
feel
me
you
is,
on that.
as I'm looking at this list, the list becomes so bulbous and full of whatever the fuck it is by
Well,
the
because
2000s.
the
There's so
problem is
many
that-
fucking movies, man.
when you look into these lists, though, they count a lot of the straight to VHS
Sure.
or straight to DVD or straight to Blu-ray.
Or the sequels,
whatever
which are like-
sequels.
Don't
Aladdin
count the
3,
sequels.
Jafar in these glasses.
No, Aladdin 3, King of the Thieves or something like that. It was good. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. There are certain Disney sequels that get shat on and they shouldn't. Little Mermaid 2 does not deserve hate.
What is it even about?
doesn't.
Give me the plot line. What happens
It's
to
the daughter
Sebastian?
and
I just
stuff
want to
like
know
that.
what happens to Sebastian.
He's
the
dead.
daughter of Ariel and the prince? Mm-hmm. What's she got to go back to the water?
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite story.
She wants to live under the sea.
Yes.
That seems like
Yes.
an easy sell for Sebastian.
So
is he dead? Is he alive?
Sebastian is definitely not dead, but
Okay.
Sebastian's the
whatever.
crab, right?
yeah, he's
Yes.
awesome. Under
Aladdin
the sea.
2 and 3 are awesome. Lion King 2, awesome. Pretty much any of the other sequels,
Revenge
I
of
can't.
Timon
Like
and
Bambi
Pumbaa.
2, not good. Little Mermaid 3, fucking atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't want to include any of the sequels when you're talking about Disney movies, just because I think largely.
See, I don't think that's true.
I think largely they didn't put the resources, the heart into those that they did into the originals, and so I mean you can keep them in consideration, but no one's gonna the original Little Mermaid's going to be way better than any of the sequels, anything else that came out afterward.
I mean, yeah, the resources were totally different. Like the animation's garbage comparatively because it was like the TV animated series team working on it. Which, by the way, shout out to the fucking animated series of Aladdin and Hercules and Little Mermaid. They're all good.
They're all great. We're not criticizing them. They have way more limited resources and way quicker timetables they have to work with than an animated movie.
What's the read on Hunchback of Notre Dame? Was that a good one?
So that also counts into the depending on your age. Like that was the first one I think that I didn't see in theaters.
Okay.
Like there's Lilo and Stitch, there's Atlantis.
A Bug's Life.
See that's Pixar though.
It's all on this list.
So can we? I was going to ask. Can we count the Pixar movies?
I wouldn't. Like Pixar
Tarzan.
is its own thing.
Can we count Avengers?
No.
Star Wars?
I'm gonna say this real quick.
Batman here anywhere?
I'm looking at the list. The last of these movies, literally, and this is including all of Disney's movies, like Disney animated movies, including Pixar's movies. The last one I saw it all the way through, and I saw it in there was Mulan. That was in 1998.
And then there's Mulan, which is fucking awesome.
I actually really like Mulan a lot, and I saw it in the theater in Philadelphia with my brother. I don't
remember liking it.
Mulan's great,
but there's
Mulan
like
2,
so many
garbage.
There's a Bambi 2.
Yeah,
How
it's
the
garbage.
fuck is there a Bambi 2? It doesn't even make any sense.
Didn't you want Thumper's backstory?
Yeah, it was genius. It was actually a prequel. Bambi's mom loses her mom, finds love.
It's like Fuller
grows
House.
up. Exactly like Full House. It's Fuller House.
There's so
Fuller
many.
Bambi.
Like I don't even know what I like. Some of these might even be fake movies. Like The Secret World of Arrietty.
Arrietty?
The hell? I've never heard of that in my life.
I think that's
Wait, that's a
Japanese thing.
Isn't that a Japanese anime film?
This is all just in a Disney. Maybe these are just Disney
They may have
published.
put. I think Disney may have put them out like
animated-
Miramax.
list of Disney animated
Ghibli
films.
stuff, right?
Yeah, the secret.
Ponyo?
Arrietty is.
That's Ghibli.
Those might have been.
Ratatouille. That was a legitimate animated
Pixar.
movie.
That was Pixar, though. Yeah.
But
Oh, that's Pixar?
those might have been put out by like subsidiaries of Disney. Like I think.
Well, I mean,
Miramax
Disney
or something.
owns all these motherfuckers.
I've never even heard of any of these movies.
Does Disney own
Teacher's
Studio
Pet.
Ghibli?
Yeah, well, I mean, they released their Blu-rays, so.
Oh, that makes sense. They might not own them. They might
They
just
probably
have
have a
distribution deals
distribution
with them,
right.
But I mean, there's Disney
Tell you
logos
about
all
Studio
over.
Ghibli, brother.
Yeah, they do that.
Return
I would not be surprised if
Monsters
they bought
Inc. is
them,
that
though.
old, huh?
Studio Ghibli's amazing. By the way, have you guys watched that documentary about them? I think I brought it up before. It's on Netflix. It's genius. It's called The House of Dreams and Madness, and it's about Miyazaki doing his last film, and it's amazing. I mean, they still it's like a tiny little studio that they built from the ground up. 3 stories, and he just has a little corner, and like he does all of his storyboarding. Like he writes the script as storyboard, so he doesn't write a script. He just like actually draws as he's going to write. So it takes him forever to do this stuff. But it's cool to watch like how they do all the ADR and all that stuff for animated stuff. It's worth a watch. And plus that team is just genius. The Studio Ghibli guys, they're so incredibly talented. It's sad.
That was
like,
Jesus. Yeah, I remember. I watched a lot of anime with my brother when I was a kid, and I remember. We've talked about before watching Bubblegum Crisis or Ranma Half or whatever, and they were fun and they were good. But I remember Mononoke being the first thing I'd ever seen, except for maybe Ranma, where, and obviously Akira. But other than those, like where I was like, this is insane. Like I remember seeing Mononoke being like, this is absurd how good this is and like how beautiful it is. And obviously I was a fan ever since, and it was so cool to see them cross over with Level 5 to do Ni no Kuni because that was fucking awesome. Like that they did a video game.
Yeah.
And it was gorgeous and it was fun. Really a lot of talent.
You would get a kick out of this documentary then, because really it's like it just shows how they do it, and it's such a painstaking process to hand animate things, and they still hand animate everything, and they'll show the guys doing the background boards in like watercolor. And you're like, is that real? And then they take a picture of it, and that's just the frame of the background for the movie. And you're like, that's fucking insane, man. They don't go back in, and I'm sure they retouched it a little bit here and there, but it's pretty talented. But that's what Colin was saying, to bring it back to the Disney topic, which is that I think too many, it depends on who you ask. If you ask a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old, what was the golden era of Disney, they would say, oh, it's got to be Snow White. It's got to be
When Walt was
Cinderella.
bouncing around.
Yeah, like when they first popularized the release of the animated film. That's probably when a lot of people would think about it. But I agree that like right around The Little Mermaid is when they brought storytelling up into the modern era. Where up until then you're like, I don't know what's going on here, but that had a lot of humor and a lot of depth, and was not particularly aimed toward kids, and it was still a play on. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's still a play on. The storyline is actually taken from, not mythology.
I mean, almost all are.
Yeah, all of them are. They're not original
like
stories,
fairy
right?
tales.
Yeah, except maybe for the Lion King, but I'm sure that's based on something
Lion King?
too.
Are you joking?
What's that?
Hamlet?
Is it Hamlet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so there
he's
you go.
thinking of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, original IP from Disney.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure like every Disney movie's taken. It's just a retelling of some story.
It's all Shakespeare.
Yes.
Don't you?
Yes.
I didn't put that together, 2 and 2, that it was Hamlet. I didn't know that. That's funny.
Oh, I thought you were.
That
fucking
makes
around.
total sense. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. But man, what's your favorite, Greg? Which one did you say?
I said Aladdin's number one because I remember distinctly getting Aladdin for Christmas.
Yeah.
And watching it nonstop while playing on my Sega Game Gear. Jeopardy.
Oh, okay.
I had Jeopardy on the Sega Game Gear.
How'd you fare on that?
I was fucking kicking its ass. Now, granted, not that many questions. So after a while, you pretty much know everything. You're going for the perfect game, Alex.
Why do you call me Alex? I'm not Alex.
Like
Trebek.
Alex Trebek.
No, but you looked at me and you were like, you were like in that space again when you were a kid.
Yeah.
You just zoned out for a second.
I think
You
I knew
scare
where it
me
was.
sometimes. You terrify me.
I feel like if you Google Disney Golden Age, like people, that's a thing that I feel like they'd be
A lot
referring
of bad
to.
DeviantArt, I bet, too.
There'd be some good stuff, but it would be the early '90s movies, and I think that's just because it was like a back to back successes.
Everything that was coming out was awesome. Like Pixar.
Yeah,
Like
they were
when
coming
on
out
their roll.
and they were coming out way quicker. You have to understand that from the Snow White kind of era, and even before that, obviously Fantasia and all of that, through Fox and the Hound and up until Little Mermaid, they were releasing a movie like every few years.
Yeah.
Of that. So
It was a big
it was like they really ramped up, I
Yeah.
think, and started funding more movies. Where like between Mermaid, Rescuers, Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, all came out within like 10 years of each other.
I mean, they were
And that's a pretty
essentially
incredible thing.
annualizing like movies, and they became event movies and all that stuff. And they had a system where they would release the VHS, and it would be the half year, and then there's Vault and all this shit.
No,
So
the
they
fucking
knew
Vault,
they knew what the
man.
fuck they were doing.
This
But then,
fucking thing.
but then what
back into
happened
the
is
vault
then
forever.
Toy Story came out, and it started this CG thing with Pixar, and they were competing, and
Yeah.
that is when I think people started losing interest in the classic Disney animated movies, because then that's when we started seeing the Mulan and Lilo and Stitch and Atlantis and that type of stuff, and then
Princess and the
Disney.
Frog.
No, that's way later.
Okay.
And that actually kind of bring back like the Renaissance.
That revitalized.
Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Emperor's
it's,
New Groove.
It's mixed a little bit, but people refer to that period that you're talking about as the Renaissance.
The Renaissance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not the golden.
that
The
makes
golden
more
era
sense.
is when they actually like popularized it with Steamboat Willie and going all the way up to the release. But yeah, a lot of people say the 89, like starting around the late 80s is the Renaissance, when they had a renaissance of, coming up
Actual
and
good
creating
animation
amazing
stuff.
shit.
Yeah, because then they made Chicken Little, which was like a CG, like
Wasn't that stop motion?
it was Disney's first CG, like fully CG movie, and it was fucking trash, and that like ruined them. And then they put out a bunch of things that were no good, like Brother Bear, and On the Run or some shit like that. I don't know. There was a bunch of stuff that was really bad.
Right.
And then Princess and the Frog came out, and that kind of like revitalized, and that brought it back to the hand-drawn animation that I don't think we're ever really going to see again, because that was a success, but not a big enough success.
to
based on
justify the time.
whatever. And then you see
that.
things like Frozen, and you're just like, all right, well,
It's
that's
funny
what they're
too with the
doing.
hand drawn animation is really expensive now too. It's funny that like doing a movie like Toy Story, they're still very expensive to do, but that was like enormously expensive, and the story behind Pixar and all that's fascinating. But that was like really extraordinarily expensive, but now you're seeing like it's being like transposed now, where we were talking about this with Ego with pixel art and Bloodstain and Castlevania and stuff, where it's just way cheaper not to do like hand animations and hand drawn stuff anymore, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
because that's
Technology
why
just kind of reached that point where it's like it's easier to just 3D model things and just animate them as they go instead of having to hand draw every single frame.
Pixel.
right.
Yeah.
But I still like the look. Like Mermaid, I'm not sure, probably, but certainly in the 90s, like all of those were computer assisted. So that's why I like the look of something like Fox and the Hound. I think Fox and the Hound's fucking gorgeous. Or Robin Hood. Those are hand animated and actually just hand animated, and then filmed. Like in some, you probably know more about it
No,
than
they
I
just
do.
take a picture of it.
Yeah, and my like, and you can see how crude it is and how I love it. I love watching the animations, and there's like flubs and fucked up things in
Yeah.
it, like where like and it just keeps going, as opposed to these more computer assisted kind of things that are pretty and they're still hand drawn, like Mermaid was, but it was computer assisted. It's like the way my brother animates now, where he draws everything by hand, but it's on a computer as opposed to
Doing
the way
paper and flipping.
Yeah,
the
You're
paper.
seeing that with everything though. Like I just started watching Attack on Titan, right? And you're seeing that a lot of their coloring and a lot of their lines are very, very digitally drawn. They're still drawn, they're still hand drawn, but it doesn't have that shaky, or not shaky, like squiggly look that a traditional hand drawn line would draw.
I mean, we're gone from that. We've been away from that for a while.
It's a shame though, because I feel like that's why Robin Hood, Peter Pan, and Fox and the Hound are my favorites, because they have that essence and that spirit
Yeah.
of what it was to make an animated movie, and how I'm not saying it's easy to make that stuff now. It's certainly not easy, but how fucking grueling it must have been to make those movies, and that's why it took them forever to make them.
It's funny too, though, because when you look at that, like, there's so many like things on the internet about this now, but they would just like essentially copy and paste techniques over all those old movies. Like they would reuse animations all the time. So it's funny.
That was what's hilarious in the 80s. Was so popular when you'd watch an 80s cartoon series, and you'd be like. You don't really realize it, so you watch it when you're adult, and you're like, holy shit, that same explosion or that same like airplane going down.
It's like the Wilhelm scream. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, you can't unsee it. But yeah, they had to do that.
But there's dance scenes in like Snow White and Robin Hood and all that, and they're like literally the exact same.
Yeah,
exact same thing.
Yeah, there's a YouTube video on that. I think I saw that.
And there's a whole bunch of it like throughout those old movies, and I love stuff like that. Like it's interesting to me. And then it's funny because I have a different approach where like I love Aladdin so much because I loved the super clean like HD look of how the drawings looked because it was computer assisted, and you can see the difference between like Aladdin 1 and Aladdin 2 and 3 because those were a little more cheaply done. And it's like, man, quality animation is a fucking beautiful thing, and that's why something like Princess and the Frog is gorgeous to look at because it's like it's just perfected. It's using computers and stuff. But yeah, I hope we see more of that, but I don't think we ever will.
No, it's over. Computers have won.